Now we have come to the segment where two guest speakers from the AI for Education team from NIE will be sharing on how AI is used for education and in our everyday life in general. First in line for the sharing is our OER Research Fellow, Dr. Hao Meng Leong. Meng Leong received his PhD in 2015 from Monash University, Australia. Prior to academia, he has worked in Apple Computer's factory in the 1990s. In academia, he uses artificial intelligence for predictive modeling of sustainable development, amelioration of malnutrition, reduction of global poverty, and improving the resilience of food security. After Meng Lang's presentation, he will hand the screen over to our OER Research Associate, Ms. Monica Chan, who will share more AI use cases in education. Monica is also a doctoral student in the Department of Mathematics, Science and Technology at Teachers College, Columbia University. Her research interests are in K-12 STEAM, maker education, and emerging learning technologies. Previously, she has worked on data science projects at Amplify Education and research on AI implementation at Huckton Mifflin Harcourt, two edtech firms based in New York City, USA. I will now hand the screen over to Meng Leong to start his sharing. Meng Leong, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Munira. I'd like to share about artificial intelligence for social good in responsible global citizenship education using a user-friendly, no-code or low-code approach in AI in education. So the question is, why do we want to use AI to analyze real-world data sets? Well, the reason is the variables of real-world data might not correlate linearly to one another, so the use of statistical linear regression might not be suitable. However, the solution is we can use AI to machine learn the relationships between variables. As you can see from the diagram on the left, if we plot out the data of real-world data, they might not be linear lines. Instead, they might be curvilinear because as we apply more and more intervention to help the students to improve in their learning, for instance, they may experience decreasing marginal utility, meaning they may receive decreasing amounts of benefits of performance as we apply more beneficial intervention to them. So social good is a crucial part of responsible global citizenship education. Although the world has become more connected than ever, inequality and poverty continue to hamper sustainable development. To surmount these challenges, UNESCO promotes global citizenship education, which seeks to instill values, attitudes, and behaviors in people to consider the importance of responsible global citizenship, creativity, innovation, and dedication to peace, human rights, and sustainable development. It allows students of all ages to understand that these questions are global, not local, so that they can actively promote peace, full, tolerant, inclusive, safe, and sustainable societies. Using a no-code or low-code AI for social good in responsible global citizenship education approach, we feel that it is imperative to educate learners so that they can become empowered as responsible global citizens. AI is increasingly being used to contribute to social good. However, it remains challenging for educators or social science researchers who are not trained in computer science to write code and implement AI algorithms to analyze social science related data. AI can be democratized with a user-friendly, probabilistic approach to augment human thought. Analysts who are not computer scientists may also be empowered by this inclusiveness to use AI for social good. In education, this human-centric probabilistic approach can be implemented by teachers as a cognitive scaffolding to encourage students to ask more questions to educe, which is to draw out the thought processes involved in becoming responsible global citizens. This also contributes to the character and citizenship education (CCE) of the students. Singapore now has a Ministry of Sustainability and Environment, MSE. Prime Minister Lee has noted that sustainability has become an increasingly important part of our national agenda. COVID 19 has shown how important resilience of food security is, highlighting the importance of sustainability and climate adaptation. So, using a no code or low code AI enhanced predictive modeling approach, uh, we can have an inclusive, democratized way to create actionable predictive insights to contribute to social good. These exemplars will be used to illustrate how an inclusive low-code, human-centric probabilistic reasoning approach can be employed in the predictive modeling of social issues. They are 1. Global sustainable development, 2. Ameliorating malnutrition, 3. Advancing financial inclusion for poverty reduction, and 4. Improving resilience of global food security. No-code or low-code tools can enable rapid development of predictive simulations while allowing complete customizations of variables and artificial intelligence algorithms. In effect, this user-friendly approach enables humans to focus on the all-important big picture, logistical, logical reasoning, and productive collaborative discussions with stakeholders across multiple domain verticals via what-if scenarios for optimizations and risk assessments, while the AI-enabled software augments human ingenuity by doing the heavy lifting of making everything work smoothly in the simulations. Also, in the first example, for global sustainable development is essential to humankind. Using a low-code inclusive approach, non-computer scientists can also use AI to analyze the Environmental Performance Index. This approach may also be used by teachers as a cognitive scaffold to encourage students to ask more questions that could inform sustainable policy making. The data from 180 countries in EPI includes environmental health and ecosystem vitality performance indicators. Analysis using an inclusive and democratized no-code AI approach of the EPI data can reveal hidden tensions between the two fundamental dimensions of sustainability, which are 1. The environmental health that improves economic growth and increased affluence, and 2. The vitality of ecosystems, which worsens due to industrialization and urbanization. For the example on ameliorating global malnutrition using AI, malnutrition, according to the World Health Organization and the World Bank, is one of the world's most significant but least addressed sustainability issues. Malnutrition refers to the malfunction or imbalance of nutrition, which could be influenced not only by undernutrition, but also by overnutrition. Nutrition is crucial to both health and economic development. Both undernutrition and obesity-related diseases contribute substantially to the burden of disease in these societies. This is known as the double burden of nutrition. AI can be used to demonstrate how human-centered probabilistic reasoning can be used to analyze the dynamics of global malnutrition and optimize conditions to achieve the best case scenario. Conditions can also simulate the worst case scenario to inform stakeholders to prevent them from happening. Thus, it could improve the nutritional and health status of vulnerable populations. For the example on using AI for financial inclusion in order to reduce poverty, financial inclusion, according to the World Bank, is immensely important as it contributes to poverty reduction and prosperity growth. AI can play a crucial role in allowing financial service providers to improve financial inclusion. The problem that AI must solve should be focused on the human customer rather than the product or on increasing revenue for the financial service provider. AI is uniquely able to help FSPs to rapidly decipher data patterns which humans might not be able to. Access to financial inclusion can help thousands of households to prepare for unforeseen emergencies. Unfettered access to financial services, such as credit and insurance, can be used to grow small businesses. This may also lead to more spending in education and healthcare, thus enhancing the overall quality of life of those previously underserved by the financial service providers. For the example of using AI to improve the resilience of global food security, we know that unabated pressures on food systems affect food security on a global scale. AI can be used to analyze data from the Global Food Security Index, GFSI. Computational simulations can be used to produce forecasts of good and bad conditions in food security using multivariate optimizations. The forecasts of these future scenarios are useful for informing policymakers and stakeholders across domain verticals so that they can make decisions that are favorable to global food security. And this is my final slide. So the four examples that I've just shared, uh, they are prepared as the details of how to use AI to analyze those data have been prepared as free downloads, which can be downloaded from these uh, URLs. You can also scan the QR code on the top right hand corner of my slide to download these examples. So I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank my collaborators, Dr. Chia from Singapore Management University, Dr. Chan and Dr. Kaur from Monash University, Australia, as well as Dr. Eunice Say from Nanyang Technological University for helping me to prepare uh, these AI examples together. Thank you very much.